What's up guys, War History Geek here, and welcome back to another haul video. I know it's been a little while now. I needed to take a quick break there. Life was getting a little busy, but I'm back, and I do have a couple of hauls that I'm going to combine together into one video today. So let's just get right into it. In a antique store about 45 minutes from my home, we stopped in there. I wasn't expecting to find much, and I actually found some pretty good stuff. Unfortunately, I couldn't even afford all the good stuff that was in there, so I just kind of picked some of the best options in my eyes. So the first item here is actually a World War II era US M1 helmet repainted for the Korean War. So as you can see here, it has a very thick coat of paint, as all Korean War era helmets do, yet you can still see the textured paint underneath from the World War II era. Let's see here, sorry about that, trying to get the lighting down, there we go. So, taking a look around, you can see there was a sticker on the front at some point, and you can see that it has its original World War II chin strap. So I was very happy as soon as I saw that to know that this was indeed a World War II helmet. You can also see here, if you zoom in, that it is indeed a front seam helmet, as you can see there. So I knew that this was definitely worth picking up. I paid a little bit more on the expensive end for a repainted World War II era helmet, but once I saw it, I just knew that I had to have it. I really liked the look of it. So flipping it around here, as you can see on the inside, it's just a very basic inside. It has no liner. You can see that it's a swivel bail, so very interesting there. And unfortunately, due to the repaint, the heat stamp is not visible. And I don't think I'm going to strip the paint on the inside to try and find it either. Despite not being able to know when this World War II era helmet was made, the Korean War era paint is still part of its history, and I don't want to damage that. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is for now. So that is a very excellent find. I believe that makes 13 combat helmets now in my collection. Now, at the same store, I found a very interesting photograph. Let's get it up here. So in a back room, covered in cobwebs, I managed to find this picture. So you can kind of see a reflection of my lighting there. But there we go. So this is a group photograph of the Company B of the 30th Medical Training Battalion at Camp Grant, Illinois. And after a little bit of research, I found that Camp Grant trained the medical replacements during the Second World War. So I'm guessing that this was most likely taken at some point during the war as a medical replacement battalion. Up there you can see there's a separate photograph from the lower one. I'm guessing of the same people, though, which is interesting. As you can see there, there's an arrow up here pointing to a man. And then down here, you can see an arrow pointing to another man. So I'm not sure if these two were brothers, and that was the unit of one brother, and this is the unit of another. But here we are. Also, you can see over here, the two commanding officers were Major WW Nickel, MC Battalion Commander, and Captain Irving H. Rosenthal, MC Company Commander. I believe this was only like $20, which I thought was a very reasonable price for a portrait like this. Usually you see them for a considerable more amount. So I just thought with such a interesting history behind it, I just had to pick it up. And it is indeed still in its original frame. So very cool there. So that was all for antique store purchases as of late. This next little collection I'm going to show you is from one of my good friends from around the world. He's native to Finland, and he does metal detecting of battlefields there. And he decided to generously send me some of the items he found. So I know you're watching this, so for you, thank you very much for your generosity. I'm going to give these an excellent place in my collection. And especially thank you for these extra gifts. The original agreement was that he was going to send me some dog tags as long as I paid the shipping, and he decided to include some extra gifts here. So again, thank you so much for that. It's going to have a great place in my collection. So as you can see here, we have a half dog tag, all original German dog tags, and they're all blank. So all of them are in very good condition, surprisingly. All just surface rust. None of the pitting goes too deep. So I am most likely going to restore a couple of them to use for my reenacting. And the other ones I'm going to leave in original found condition. So once again, thank you very much for these. They're going to have a great home here. So next here, we have a combat button off of a German uniform. Very cool. Yeah, as you can see, there's a little crack on the surface there. And you can see the maker, HD. So again, just a very cool find, and it's cool to own something that you know for a fact was on a German uniform that most likely saw combat. So very cool. And lastly here, we have a German stripper clip. Now I have a Car 98K, however, I don't have any original stripper clips. So this is a very nice piece. As he told me, unfortunately, the spring inside was in terrible condition, so he had to remove it. However, the rest of the stripper clip, the body, for instance, is just in excellent condition. So it's going to make a great shelf piece. And then you can even see the maker mark there. So once again, thank you so much for these. Your generosity is unnecessary, but they're going to make great parts of my collection. So once again, thank you so much for that. And then our last item here, which is a very, very special item. I'm still amazed that I was able to find such an item, and I'm extremely honored to be able to have one for my collection. So I'm not going to go into too much detail of how I got it or anything like that. I'm going to give it its own video discussing the story of how I managed to get my hands on it for my collection. But I figured I would just show it off in this video for a second to hint at what's coming up soon. So, without further ado, here is a German M40 Stahlhelm. It's in beautiful condition, as you can see, original paint and everything. But yeah, so just a beautiful helmet. An excellent story behind it, not only with me purchasing it, but the story behind the helmet. And like I said, I'm just incredibly honored to be able to have this in my collection. And you'll be seeing a video coming out on it very soon. Well, that's all I have for this haul video. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit the like button, and when you're in that area, hit the subscription button and notification bell. I have plenty of other videos just like this coming in the near future, so stay tuned for that. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.